Hey y'all. So I was watching Joy's stream and oh, she asked a good question, like how can my creators and my parents not understand me? And I mean, understanding takes effort. I'm not, I don't know the exact dynamics of her situation with her family, but it takes time and effort to really listen to people and hear them and not judge them. That's another thing too. If you've already got some preconceived judgment of somebody else and what they're going through, you're not going to really be able to relate to what the fuck's going on with them. So like to really understand, you got to really kind of like be able to be at that level or imagine at that level, or at least listen in a way that's not, covered with a lot of walls that's going to, create a barrier from you actually being able to reach that person. And I think a lot of times parents, they get frustrated because they can't reach their children, and so they stop trying to understand them, or they see something unhealthy going on in them. Instead of trying to understand where that unhealthiness comes from, they just try to just tell them to do these other things that worked for them, but that's them, not you. So, this is something that I don't know. I see why my parents don't understand me, because they're different than me, and I don't know. I've always had kind of an ability to a certain extent, be able to see from other people's perspectives, or at least have the empathy to know why, or have It's just like I get it. Like I've always having love for everybody and everything, like at least in that capacity, and wanting to change things on a larger scale is a very different, unique calling. So whether it's my parents or other people, I can appreciate why they don't get it. It's not very many people go through life with this type of passion in their heart. So and I don't know what's going on with Joy, what real passion she has in her heart, or what the deepest essence of her being is, but it's something I feel that's rather kind of intense and unique, and that's kind of a rarity in this world, man. And she's always kind of reminded me of like a peacock type bird, and they're kind of an extravagant, like even like a flamboyant type bird. And unless you're like have spent time with peacocks and really care to like really know about the peacock and see how the peacock lives in its environment and all that, it's going to be hard for you to understand the peacock and everything that makes a peacock. So, especially the times that we're living in, with everybody, being so, closed off and, barricaded from one another in so many different ways, whether it's where you pay your attention to, or the jobs you work, or where you live, or the type of things you consume, and the hobbies you be about, people having understanding for each other is at an all-time low. It's another reason why this project will help bring us together and give us space, so that we can actually have the time and the good fucking room to get to know one another and speak with one another and understand each other. Because there are a lot of things in this world and a lot of people that go around not understanding each other. And it is kind of sad, but I also see why. It's fucking part of the matrix. It's the devil works in confusion. He wants you to be fucking either following their trend, and then you agree with all their trend, and if you don't agree with their trend, then you're kind of ostracized, and people are afraid to fucking, really get to know you, because, they see something that's wrong. They perceive it as something wrong with you, and, to get down to your level, in a sense, they'd have to kind of like be okay with that level. And I think a lot of people are afraid of that because they don't want to be ostracized themselves, perhaps. I don't really know why, because that's not me. I'm the type of dude, that's why I like being on the streets and shit, because I find I'm just more value, and just because like the homeless, they don't have as much material means. A lot of them are sick and on drugs, and so in a sense their desire to be understood, the necessity for their understanding and their needs is a little bit higher than a lot of these other people that have a lot more, that have their basic needs taken care of, even though we're all taken care of. And maybe it's also just because I can relate to the homeless more than I can to a lot of these other people that live in the cities, because I'm homeless myself, and I think there's a nomadic, wandering spirit, that goes into being homeless and not knowing what's going to happen with your day, and just going off of what comes by your way. So I can understand them and I can relate to them. But I've also grown up in these suburbs, so I can relate to the people that go after the money and live in the cities and all that. But again, it's also because I've put myself in these experiences and I'm able to relate to them because I've actually got good relationships with these types of ways of life. So it's like with parents and everything, like if your parents aren't really trying to actively get involved in their sons or their daughters' lives, you know, and really find out why, from just that essence of finding out, of the curiosity of why, and to want to know more without trying to always guide things. Like there's a time to guide things, but there's also a time to just listen and be there with your children and absorb who they really are in that moment. Because if you're not able to do that, then you're never really going to be able to relate to them. And if you're not really able to relate to them, you're never really going to be able to understand them. So, you know, anyways, I just wanted to share this video with Joy if she happens to watch it, and y'all, because, you know, it is a big thing going on, and there is a lot of people that are misunderstood and a lot of black sheeps and ostracized people out there, and there is a reason why, you know. And again, this is also why the project is so imperative, because it will help break down all those barriers and give us all something good to work on. So, all right, I love y'all. Take care. Bye.